our second major trade of the NBA season this year after James Harden got traded.
I was about to what was the first?
The Toronto Raptors traded OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn to the New York Knicks for Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and a 2024 Detroit Pistons second round pick, which is basically a first.
Dang there.
Yeah, it'll either be a 31st or 32nd pick, I would imagine. Who do you like that trade for more? Or I hate asking who won the trade,
but I feel like it's a win-win on this one.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's about even.
OG is, I don't know why people don't. I don't know. I feel like he's underrated because he's one of the premier 3-and-D guys in the league. Like, seriously,
OG is one of those guys for me where it's like everybody says they're overrated. I mean, they're underrated. So it's kind of like they're probably properly rated because everybody acknowledges that they don't get.
It could have just been in Toronto though, because like I feel like with New York, he really finished.
I'm just saying like that's kind of like how Drew was. It's kind of how Chris is, where it's like you talk so much about how underrated they are. It's like everybody's talking about them because they're so underrated. It's like they're properly rated. Like they're talking about. I'm not undercounting your point. I'm just saying like that's kind of like the level of player where it's like we know what he is. We know what he can do. He's a good player. I don't think he gets as much attention as he probably should for like how good he is. But like, I do think that I do think that he is a good player. Like he's one of those guys where he can just like slot him into any team and
put him on the best guy. He will guard them. Well,
he turned himself into a really good catch and shoot shooter.
Better 3-point shooter than RJ Barrett.
I think he was high 30s in his 3-point for his 3-point percentage. Like that's what he is a premier. Like the Bucks could use OG. He's a wing defender that can guard 1 through 4.
We ain't talking about the Bucks.
I'm stating as a player that we can use as far as wing goes.
Every rip, bro. You want everybody to be on the Bucks.
Can I finish?
Well, I mean, like, it's basically what I said. He's one of the players that you can put on every team because, like, everybody needs that.
Correct. And that's exactly what I was saying.
But
that's what I was saying, bro. Because I can relate to them.
But it's just any team needs what OG.
A lot of teams could use them. Listen, what I relate to and use as an example, bro, don't shit on me. Appreciate it.
I think it's more so like, yeah, of course the Bucks use it. Like that's a very glaring need for the Bucks, but it's also like
they can't get them. So
it's a moot point. I get where you're coming from. Anyway, we done lost him for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Douche over there in the corner laughing. They help.
The music doesn't stop the news.
Everything, bro. Fireworks went out. It got dark.
It got dark.
This nigga turned his back on me.
Exactly. Right. Oh, fuck damn.
Anyway, yeah. So I feel like what do I want to say? In the aftermath of this trade, like it kind of exposed to me like how many people like don't know how to talk about actual basketball because like I'm trying to really figure out like what the fit is on these teams. It's like, okay, what will the Knicks look like with OG basically replacing Barrett in the starting lineup? Like what does that look like? How does that
Who else went with him?
Huh?
Who else went with him?
Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn.
Now, I don't think Malachi gonna get too much playing time.
He won't be back.
With Mitchell Robinson being out, they need another big to be able to throw out there. So Precious is a nice flyer. I don't think Precious is what I thought he was going to be when he was in Miami. I was like, man, Precious Achiuwa gonna be that dude. He didn't turn out to be that necessarily, but I think he's gonna be a good rotational piece for the Knicks because they need a big. They went and got the corpse of Taj Gibson out there hooping. Man.
The corpse.
Yeah. But like on the Raptor side, it's like I like the fit. Like everybody talks about the Quickley fit, which is like it's seamless. Like that's the type of dude that you want to pair with Scotty Barnes. Like that's who you want as a running mate. Like they've
been needing a guard.
They've been running out Dennis Schroeder and Malachi Flynn. It's like
it's not doing it.
This ain't it. And Gary Trent isn't hitting shots like he usually would. Like they're basically getting no outside shooting from their backcourt, and like Quickley's game is outside shooting, self creation, really. But like they finally have a guard that can like hit a pull up jump shot, which they sorely need. And then RJ is like a good flyer. Like the things that OG did, like I'm not saying like he's a 1-to-1, but I'm saying like you can get like 70-80% of what he did, plus you get a little bit more creation, plus you get a little bit more slashing. Like the shooting isn't as great. The defense definitely isn't as great, but like he's still 23, 24. Like that's a good flyer to take for somebody that you were going to lose in the offseason anyway.
You slide over like 15 to 17 a game still too.
Barrett's been in the league, what, 5 years now?
I think so.
He came in with Zion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they all got their
I was
second.
I was high on him.
Yeah,
I still like him.
He has not gotten any better.
Yeah.
From what I've seen when he came, and that's the thing with RJ Barrett for me. I was having a debate on Twitter with somebody who was trying to figure out who was the best player in this trade. And I said it's OG, and I was like, it might end up being Immanuel Quickley, but I think it's OG. And they were arguing with me that RJ Barrett could be one of the best players in this trade, or he should be in consideration at this point. And I was like, he can't, not in my book.
I've been asking for the last 3 years, and nobody's been able to give me an answer. What does RJ Barrett do well?
That's the thing.
Slash.
So
Nothing.
here's the thing.
He does everything.
He do a little bit of everything. Yeah, he do a little bit of everything.
He is perceived to be the really good shot creator who's gonna go and get buckets, but he's not good at doing it.
No, he's a streaky shooter.
He's super streaky. He's inconsistent. And if you're an inconsistent bucket getter who can't play defense, then like no,
he can't.
He get lost.
Who doesn't
defense,
play
though.
defense super well?
Yeah, he definitely get lost.
I think everything that he every attribute that he has is like a 78. Where it's like everything is just like
just above average.
It's
just
fine.
Everything. Like it's all right.
It's fine.
Like,
it's not
all
great.
It's
There's
fair.
but again, like to my point, like he's still young. Like he can still develop, and I don't know that New York was necessarily the best place for him to develop the way that he needed to. I don't know if Toronto is either, but
maybe being back in Canada will help being home.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But there's still something there. Like he's definitely an NBA player.
I like the trade for both teams though. Like and especially because it doesn't seem like either team was going to keep the guy they traded this offseason. So it's like you might as well get something for them now. Now I know people are gonna point to the fact that last year the Raptors could have got way more for OG. But they didn't pull the trigger then.
And
so
Precious.
like so like I get the whole being like, well dang, they should have did it last year, but like they didn't. So we can't change that at this point.
And also like I push back against that a little bit because like I think Quickley on his own probably could get you 2 first-round picks. And like RJ, like maybe, but like that Detroit pick is basically like
late first rounder.
Like Memphis is one of the teams that like he could have gotten traded to last year for a bunch of 3 first-round picks. It's like is Memphis's 25 overall, like not this year because of the Josh suspension, but like for the foreseeable future, they're probably going to be picking in the late 20s.
Yeah.
Or mid to late 20s. So it's like, is that materially better than an immediate second-round pick that's probably going to be in the high 30s? Like
on a cheaper contract,
exactly.
too. Which, with the salary cap and the new aprons and everything, it's important to keep that financial flexibility. Triple T's in the comments, and he loves the trade. I actually like it for both teams, too. It's not one of like a superstar trade where you're like, oh my God. But like, I think when it comes to fit on each team, especially for the Knicks, I like it a lot for the Knicks, too, because we know what Tibbs wants. He wants you to play some defense. And now they got that 3-and-D wing that Tim was mentioning that fits into what Tibbs wants to do. And he fits really well next to Brunson and Randall, who are 2 dudes who out here to get buckets. Like, they're not here to play defense like that. They just want to get some buckets. And now you put OG in there with them, and it helps balance things out. You got Dante, who's been playing pretty well this season. Josh Hart coming off the bench. Like, the Knicks are that's a good team.
I was having a conversation with my brother. I'm like, the Knicks have like all the perfect role players. It's just they stars. It really is Randall. But like, there's like if they had those role players on any other team, you'd be like, damn, that's a stacked team. But with them, it's like they good. Something's still missing. You know what I mean? Like, any other team would kill to have those role players. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're a good team. I like it for both teams.